Heron Quays is a station that's quite easy to overlook, not least because it's buried under a skyscraper. And that's why I wanted to make a video about it, frankly. Sometimes I just get curious about something that doesn't appear to be very curious, if you know what I mean. So, Heron Quays is a station on the Docklands Light Railway on the branch to Lewisham. In terms of distance, it's very near to Canary Wharf. As a matter of fact, it's actually closer on foot to the Jubilee Line Canary Wharf station exit than the DLR Canary Wharf station is. The whole geographical mess of the area around Canary Wharf and its stations is something I'm planning a dedicated video on in the future. This branch of the DLR was opened in 1987, although in those days it only went as far as Island Gardens. Heron Quays was thus one of the DLR's earliest stations. That being said, it looked very different back then. It was a simple open-air station, and this reflected the way the DLR was viewed in its early days. The massive office development at Canary Wharf had yet to be built. All there really was around here was derelict warehouses from the closed West India docks. What the Greater London Council and the various local authorities envisioned for the area was more akin to those houses on the other side of the water there, or Billingsgate Market. Low-rise, relatively low-density development for which a light rail system was well suited. I'll quote the first edition of the DLR handbook, which was published before the system opened. Whatever kind of design has been used for a concourse, the scale is small and the passenger will immediately feel he or she is entering a smaller and less formal system than the London Underground. So yes, that was the thinking behind the original design of Heron Quays. Interestingly, while it was one of the earlier stations on the system, it was a relatively late addition to the plan. There's a map of the proposed route published by the GLC in 1983 that does not include Heron Quays. It's only listed as a possible addition to the plan, under the name Heron Wharf. Incidentally, the earliest proposals suggested that Canary Wharf should be named Canary Quay, so the wharf and the quay kind of got switched around there. As for the other part of the name, it was invented by the developers, Tarmac Brookglade Properties. Unlike Canary Wharf, West India Quay, or the other stations around here, it does not reflect the history of the area. Well, not directly. There was a herring warehouse here in the 19th century, so the smart money is that it was originally Herring Quay, but the developers preferred something a little less aromatic. The Heron Quays development began construction in 1981. The book London Docklands, Past, Present and Future describes the plans as both Swedish-style and Venice-like. But all this was held up by a decline in confidence in the property market. Only part of the proposed development was actually built, and later demolished. And I dare say that in the early years the Docklands Light Railway folk might have regretted building a station here. The old warehouses were demolished, but the lovely new developments weren't built. The station served an empty wasteland. That being said, in 1982 a plane was landed on the empty site to demonstrate the possibility of building an airport in Docklands. The ultimate result was London City Airport, opened in the Royal Docks. That has basically nothing to do with this station, I just thought it was interesting. In 1991, though, the first part of the Canary Wharf development arrived, and that changed this area dramatically. Low-rise was out, high-rise was in. This wasn't Venice-like, it was Manhattan-like. I mean, I assume I've never been to Manhattan. Following the success of the initial development, the race was on to build more tower blocks to take advantage of this new and vibrant commercial centre. The go-ahead was given for Canary Wharf South, which would be like Canary Wharf, only south. One problem. This was going to have to go smack on top of Heron Quays Station. Well, actually there were two problems. Not only was Heron Quays in the way, but it was too small. Canary Wharf's unexpected arrival caught the DLR with its trousers down. Or whatever the equivalent of trousers would be for a railway. Training pants, I guess. Anyway, the point I'm making is that a railway designed for low-capacity services was unsuited for the level of traffic that Canary Wharf and its associated developments brought. It was initially thought that trains consisting of a single articulated unit would be able to cope with the passengers. It was now clear that trains would need to be 2 units minimum, and at busy times 3. Ideally, they also needed to be more frequent. So, if things were going to get even busier, the station would need to be redesigned accordingly. As the tower block rose around it, the station was rebuilt from 2001 to late 2002 by Allsop architects. The brief was challenging. Not only did the station have to sit under the office block, not only did it have to have higher capacity, but it couldn't actually connect with the existing viaduct. I haven't been able to find out exactly why, but I'm guessing it's just that the viaduct wasn't designed to support this size of station. If you know any different, then let me know in the comments section. The station also could not connect to the actual office block in case that needed to be rebuilt in the future. I guess the Canary Wharf people learned from the original Heron Quays development that nothing lasts forever. The solution was to build the station in a sort of trough that would wrap around the viaduct, but be entirely self-supported. The shell around the underside of the station is designed to act as noise insulation. Whereas the old station had access to ground level via lifts and stairs, the new one was additionally fitted with escalators to enable faster entry and exit of passengers. The platforms are far longer and poke out slightly at either end from beneath the office block. If it weren't for the signs at the ends, it would be quite easy to miss. The space underneath not only acts as the station concourse, but provides a passage through the office block at ground level. I should also mention the interchange thing. In 1999, the Jubilee line was extended through Canary Wharf to Stratford, which was an attempt to provide a better service to the new developments in East and South East London. The layout of the area is such that it's not actually that easy to get to Canary Wharf DLR station from Canary Wharf Tube station. Therefore, if you need to get to the DLR, you might prefer to take the shorter, simpler walk to Heron Quays. This has out-of-station interchange with the Underground, in acknowledgement of the fact that it's, well, a better way to interchange. It also has the effect of taking a bit of pressure off Canary Wharf DLR. Also in 1999, the Island Gardens branch was extended to Lewisham, which was another reason why Heron Quays might have needed a bit of extra capacity. And that's more or less where Heron Quays stands today. It's a busy station, as you might expect. It's really an illustration of the odd history of the development around here. It's gone from a speculative possible station to an important stop on the network, from a simple basic design to a unique piece of modern architecture. My only 2 complaints about it are that, as I say, it's not too easy to spot, and that despite the lighting, it does have a rather gloomy feel to it. Still, as part of the life of Canary Wharf, it's pretty key. Well, I do hope you enjoyed today's video. If so, please do leave a like and consider subscribing for more. I would like as ever to thank my donors on Ko-fi, on Patreon and here on YouTube for your generous support. You are the noise baffle to my baffling station brief. And I will see you all again very soon. Cheerio.